Right, it's the end of the afternoon. I thought I'd come out to do a bit of sketching using oil bars on an ordinary Seawhite sketchbook. Nothing too thick. There's old Basil wandering around. Brought him with me. We've just done a little track, sort of joins a couple of fields together. And we're going to have a quick go at this sketch before it gets dark. And let's get on with it and see how we get on. And that's what I'm thinking about, sketching quite quickly this track here, and the sun's just broken through the cloud there as it's dropped down. You can see the sun, just that's where the sun is up there, just coming through the clouds quite nicely. So I think I'm going to get a move on here before this drops too much more and have any light at all. So this is what we brought with us. We've got my stool, which is just about hanging on. You can see it's got a crack through it there, so I've got to watch I don't go through that on my backside. There's my sketchbook, hard-backed Seawhite sketchbook, fairly thin paper. And I've got my box, which I usually bring what I need out sketching with me. And here are the oil bars, which I'll be using today. These Sonelier oil sticks, oil bars. And I think it'd be quite good fun, you know, building that up really quickly. So what I'm doing here, I'm just quickly laid in some colour and using the oil bar, the oil stick. Sometimes they form a bit of a skin on there, but you can take that off with a blade, or you take that off by pressing down quite hard, and it just rubs off onto the paper, and then you can apply the colour like this. So that's where we got to after about 10 minutes of sketching. We've gotten quite lucky with the light, as it's gone quite nice. The sun's just dropped below the cloud cover end of the afternoon, and it's illuminated certain areas, which is quite nice. So that's what I'm trying to get in a really quick sketch here. Now often with the oil sticks, sometimes they get a bit thick and unworkable, so often I've got an old credit card or something. I quite like to just scratch back through it. And this, I scratch back through the surface, and then I start working again on top. I think this works quite well. It often blends colours together, and I just quite like the effect of it as well. It moves the colours around, but you're not destroying everything that you've done. But you just sort of, a bit like I do when I'm painting with a palette knife with oil paint. So just take that top layer off every so often, just to make it workable again. And it's the same sort of thing with the oil sticks. And I can work back into that again now, you see, before the light goes. So often that's what I'll do with a graphite stick as well. I'll start drawing into the oil bar that's on there, and start putting some like branches and things like that in, and I can draw into this and scratch through as well, which is quite nice. And you can just loosely put some of these branches in to give the impression of all these sort of scrubby hedge that is there, all the plants and things that grow in that hedgerow. And we've got a track here which has got some sort of dark mud, and the tractor's been recently to cut all this back so we can walk in it, you see. So that's the track, and there's some trees up here. I'm just going to mark them in quite quickly with this graphite stick, and then I'll probably go back over that with some more oil bars rather. Oil bars and oil sticks are the same thing. Sometimes they're called oil sticks, sometimes they're called oil bars, because they're just sort of bars of solid pigment mixed with sort of oil and a bit of wax. I think I'd have to check on that. So that's the sort of scrubbiness. We've got quite a nice tree here, which I quite like. Nice shaped branch there. This one that goes off like that. And some more. There's a nice V there, like that. And then I can also, with an old pen nib, I can scratch through as well. If I want to lighten any areas, like this bit here could do with lightening a bit. And in there, so we can make some more marks, you see. So just in the same way that we do with oil paint, we can use these implements to scratch back through, and just constantly gives us this impression that all these plants growing like a tangle. So just put some, it's basically just sort of building up a bit of texture and things like that. You can see where that's scratching right through the layers already. I've only just put them on, so it's great medium for sketching. I'm going to go back into some of these areas now with a bit of this cadmium yellow. So I'll just get a bit of yellow into it. Some of these areas. Just going to try and lose some of this areas here where I didn't mean to put that in. Like over there, see, there we go. It covers quite well. And it's got some nice bright yellows just poking through some areas here. And that bit's quite nice over there, look. This bit's all in the shadow, except for a little bit of a couple of leaves on the track, which are just catching the sun. Let me just go back to our credit card. And take a little bit of that off. And that tree's gone up like that. And a bit more in here as well. All this hedge is like this. That's all in the shade, you see. There's a nice bit up there as well. Let's just get some, redefine a couple of these branches here. Like that. There's a couple of tree trunks, small ones in there. And just need to redefine this bit as well. And it just drifts off to nothing as it goes up, but you can see the base of them more, and then they obviously hit all the branches and twigs and some of the leaves that are left up there. Some of these are just starting to turn a little bit up there towards the orange. So I'm just going to lightly put this orange over some of this area up here and in here. Just lightly, I don't want to have it too orange. And that's nice there, you've got a nice little bit of there's some orange areas in there. See, the orange will go quite well against the blue. They're complementary colours, so they'll go quite well together. Yeah, let's just put a few areas in there and knock that back with the credit card again now. So it's not too in your face, but it's there. There's a hint of it. More than it's sort of too much. We could just do a little bit more now like that. There we go. Let's try that with the cabin yellow. Just lighten a few areas again now because they've just got a bit lost. Where the sun's just catching some of these areas, like got an ivy tree trunk covered in ivy there, so I want to get that in. That goes a bit lighter in there. Just lay a bit of white on the top. And there's a few areas where the sky is sort of coming through, so we can just mark those in. We just bring some of those down like that. And we just lighten some of this as well a little bit. It's a bit, just a little bit dark. So I'm doing this holding the phone to film this on because I've forgotten something today. It was my tripod for the camera. So we're improvising, as most artists do a lot of the time. We always try and look for solutions rather than find problems, don't we? We try to put a few more of these in. So that just needs to knock that out a little bit. What I'm doing now, I'm just gently pushing that graphite stick through the oil bar pigment there to make these marks sort of as they actually are, where the tree branches and things are running through them. They're not big areas of solid colour. Right, I think, looking at the scene now, which is there, I think I could just do making that a little bit more yellow here. I can't seem to get the yellow to go on top as well as I would have liked. This has always been a bit stiffer, this oil bar, this colour, compared to a lot of the others where they're quite soft. So this one requires a bit more pressure to apply the colour. There's actually quite a lot of orange coming through in this area here. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to lay that on like that. And we're going to scribble through it with that old pen nib. And then we're just going to redraw a couple of these branches that are showing through here. Just random marks really. No, I think we'll call that a day. That is that scene there. Quickly sketched in about 10-15 minutes with oil bars or oil sticks. And that's a nice little sketch I could use towards a painting. That's where are we? 15th of October 2021, and it's about, must be getting on towards 5 PM now. There we are. Oil bars. Thanks for watching, and see you next time. Bye for now.